SpaceCon 2024 was unforgettable for me. For those of you that don't know me yet, I'm Bob. My main purpose in life is to help create opportunities for others through engaging and innovative educational experiences. In April 2024, I was blessed with the opportunity to take several awesome individuals with me to the second occurrence of SpaceCon. This conference is a one-of-a-kind IT and cybersecurity conference held at the historic Kennedy Space Center in Merritt Island, Florida, also known as the Space Coast because of the aerospace industry activity in the area. Companies like Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin and Elon Musk's SpaceX assemble and launch rockets regularly out of there. It was fitting to have a group of hackers, tinkerers, and brilliant minds gather to share knowledge and insight there. The venue, Kennedy Space Center, was established in the 1960s by NASA to support the United States' new adventures into the cosmos. Endeavors often thought impossible and moonshot dreams have been realized there. Is there a better venue for a conference of this kind? I think not. I prepared a training on the fundamentals of computer networking, a training based on my YouTube series called Practical Network Fundamentals. As I thought about the venue, conference, and prepared my training, an idea struck to try to bring some of the brilliant minds I've had in my classes with me to the conference. I rented an SUV and packed up 5 Mac Minis, countless Ethernet cables, a whole network rack, a server running VMware's ESXi, and some switches and routers. Yes, I am a little crazy, but I wanted to make the training unforgettable and empowering for people with me that were coming with me and people that I was going to meet for the first time. We drove from the Carolinas to Merritt Island, Florida, which is about 8 hours. We arrived, got checked into hotels, and got some sleep. The next day was the main opening day. It was a beautiful day, and the drive to the center was awesome as we crossed the NASA Causeway Bridge. We passed by one of the Blue Origin's rocket factories and pulled into Kennedy Space Center's visitor center. Walking in through security in the main entrance, you can immediately see the rockets on display. It's like an amusement park for space enthusiasts. The conference itself was held in a building called the Center for Space Education. We checked in and got some awesome rocket-themed badges. Cool badges like this are a tradition at cybersecurity conferences and often included with your ticket, along with some other swag like shirts and a bag. The opening keynote was delivered by Dave Kennedy of TrustedSec. He's the swole InfoSec guy that has a DeLorean. At least that's how I know of him. You know, it is a hacker con when the keynote speaker is deep diving on AV bypass, popping shells, and mapping MITRE ATT&CK to the Uber breach that was pulled off by a bunch of teenagers. As a group, we split up. Some of us went to learn how to set up satellite security labs, some went to solder and pick locks, others went to drone security. There were a lot of great contacts and relationships made. I spent a good portion of my day laughing with the folks over at the Lockpicking village and just collecting awesome free swag from all the vendors. Vendors including but not limited to Black Hills Information Security, Rotas, Dark Wolf Solutions, Red Seer, Build Cyber, and many others. It has always been on my bucket list to see a rocket launch live, like a real one. A SpaceX launch had gotten rescheduled and the launch window just happened to fall on the first night after the conference talks that day. My wife and son made the trip separately to come show support to me. I wanted my son to see me doing what I love and am called to do so he can know what that looks like. It was a bonus to be able to take him to see a rocket launch. SpaceX was launching Falcon 9, which was carrying some satellites for their satellite internet service called Starlink. next day was free training day. My talk was at 4 p.m., so I spent most of my day making sure the challenges were set up properly. Flags were planted and everything was accounted for. One detail I hadn't considered during planning was that most people were going to bring laptops. Laptops that do not have wired NICs. The hands-on components of my training required attendees to connect to a switch so they could be on the same network as all the challenges. My wife kindly went out and bought a wireless router to assist with this. Shout out to one of the best companies in the world, Hack the Box. They gave me 7 vouchers for various Hack the Box services, including VIP Plus and Pro Labs, to give away as prizes. I also had the 5 Mac Minis and Raspberry Pis to give away to people who solved challenges during my training. I did this in order to ensure engagement. I've given trainings at conferences before, and it can be tricky to get members of the audience to engage in hands-on challenges, so I wanted to incentivize it with really good prizes. I talked for about 30 minutes introducing the practical basics of computer networking, like what a switch is, router, IP addressing, a little bit about VLANs and the internet as a whole. During the talk, I asked the audience questions like, how many of you are beginners? About half the room raised their hands. I didn't count the participants, but if I had to guess, it was probably around 60 people total in the room, so it was a pretty sizable audience. I also went on side tangents about the state of IT education in college environments, like y'all know me. Learners of all kinds agreed and shook their heads, painfully admitting that the programs they were going through were mostly online, with lack of an instructor presence and not engaging. Educators, we have got to do a better job getting people into this industry and engaging them while they're in school. It shouldn't take a talk at a conference to make people realize they should have been getting this in their college. After the instructional portion of the training, I instructed the crowd to begin the challenge, and on screen I displayed the IP scheme of the challenge network, which was 10.3.88.0 24-bit subnet. I also showed them where the network was physically. The room paused, some intimidated, others not knowing where to start. The group I brought with me immediately went into the crowd, encouraging them and giving them nudges on where to start. People broke into teams to start tackling my challenges. The first challenge was solved after about 10 minutes. He found that the wireless router was not physically connected to the switch. This was done on purpose. I put those problems in place. I wanted to design my challenges to be a bit different than a traditional CTF. Familiar but different. I gave him the choice to pick between a Mac Mini or a Hack the Box voucher. He picked the Mac Mini and immediately got back to working on other challenges. Another participant found a flag via SSH on the switch, and she cheered. As she cheered, the entire room clapped for her. She picked a Mac Mini as well. Others found the other easy rated flags and got prizes as they found them. I had 2 challenges cooked up for the more advanced individuals that I knew were going to be there that could just breeze through the easy stuff. But no one had enough time to solve them. Those challenges were 2 vulnerable machines I had hosted on the hypervisor I brought. Be on the lookout for the complete write-up for the challenge portion of my training. If you attended my training, please feel free to reach out to me directly or leave comments for feedback. I am always looking for ways to improve it for future iterations. I do plan on giving this again. They had to kick us out of the room for the closing ceremonies. Many of the participants had stayed for the entire 1 hour 45 minutes and wanted to stay longer. People loved it, and I feel grateful and blessed to be a part of it and to have been a part of it. I want to thank the amazing conference organizers over at Redcon for putting on a truly meaningful conference with community and education at the heart of it all. There were so many meaningful takeaways, ideas, and great memories made. I'm looking forward to next year, and I hope to see you there too. I've got something special planned for my training next year. Until next time, keep learning.